I have a bulletproof mind, and when I go out there, I know what I'm able to do, and I do it good.
Hugely self-confident, and yet he can match the words with deeds.
Look, he scored 3 goals tonight, so I'm not getting into the rest.
A true Hollywood entertainer.
I have a lot of respect for Vela. He's a good player, but you did one mistake. You compare him with me. That was your biggest mistake.
I feel like he was looking right into my soul when he said that. Oh my goodness, what a night in the City of Angels. El Trafico, the first one of the season. Now we know, you guys, that the series between these two teams has been nothing short of absolutely amazing, and this one did not disappoint. I just want to know straight up how much fun you had simply watching this game on Friday.
The only way I can describe it is I got more texts from more friends. People who usually wouldn't be watching Major League Soccer on a Friday night were tuned in because it was Zlatan, because it was Vela, because it was 2 LA teams. That's a measurement for it. And yes, it was amazing for me, but it was also just amazing for more people who otherwise might not have seen an MLS game on a Friday.
Absolutely. I mean, speaking as somebody who was at the first one, when Zlatan came in the 72nd minute and then scored the game-tying goal and then the game winner.
It's just unbelievable.
You sort of anticipate that he's going to do something big. And I never thought that, I was like, how do you beat that? How do you top that first one? And then, he goes out and scores a darn hat.
And he runs his mouth again, and you say, dude, he keeps running his mouth, and then he keeps backing it up. It's incredible.
It delivers. It delivers on every single level. So in that vein, let's take a look at the highlights from this one, because this one's going to be fun to relive. Oh, there he is. I mean, he talked a big game ahead of this one, guys, but...
Well, and early on, we definitely thought it was going to be all LAFC with this Vela PK finishing this one off, but then it really would become the Zlatan show. I mean, individual performance, you can make the argument that it wasn't a great performance from LA Galaxy as a team. Yes, they did what they needed to defensively, but it was this man here individually, his brilliance, setting the stage.
And you can make that argument. I will make that argument, Lori. This game for me went exactly to script. LAFC were the better team. They had better ideas. They had better shape. They moved the ball better, but the LA Galaxy were disruptive. They made it into a game of moments. And when you play in a game of moments and you have that man on your team, when you have Zlatan Ibrahimovic, you are likely to win the game of moments.
All right, well, let's look at this. This graphic is so good because Zlatan said it. You heard him say it. He said, you made a mistake when you compare me and Carlos Vela. But you know what, guys? That's exactly what we're going to do right now. So I want to know from both of you, one game, one player, you have to choose Carlos Vela or Zlatan. Who do you go with?
Vela, all the way.
Really?
Well, because, I mean, if you look at the two of these players, Carlos Vela, he can have individual performances, he has individual brilliance, but he also fits in with what the team's trying to do. And Ibrahimovic, I mean, at the others, the team has to fit into what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Laura, you nailed it. You said it exactly right. I'll take Carlos Vela because I will choose to believe that this is still a team game at its core. And yes, Zlatan can do incredible things, but that team still as a whole isn't playing that well. And part of it is because Zlatan only does his moments. So I'll never take that away from him. And we see here the Galaxy might be one of the favorites going to the playoffs playing this way, but I still choose to believe that the team ethos wins and Carlos Vela is better at fitting into that.
I'm going to disagree with both of you because listen, I'm bred from like the Michael Jordan era where, it's like one guy that can take over a game and make all the difference of the world. And that is Zlatan. I mean, if I have one game and I need to win this game, I want that guy in there.
That's what you do
all day,
the show.
every day.
You put the show on your back and take it over. I understand where you're coming from.
I mean, Zlatan and I have that in common, obviously. I think that's probably the only thing we might have in common. But the way he is able to back up what he says, and it's just, I've never seen such, he didn't call it arrogance. He said it's confidence. I think it's a little bit of both at play there.
It's
Let's
everything
be honest.
you want from sports because he understands that, yes, you need to win, but at the core of it, it's an entertainment product.
Yes.
And he delivers in every facet of that. He doesn't just score goals. He doesn't just play the game in a fun way. He does the whole part of it. He makes it into a full drama. And the truth is that not every player can do that because if you talk that way, if you make it into a drama, if you make your career into a soap opera and you don't deliver on the field, you get get mocked. We do a segment on you saying, what is this person talking about? And that's what you deserve. But when you deliver, then all of a sudden you make this entertainment product something new, and Zlatan does all of it.
And that's the difference maker. I mean, he does deliver. He talks the talk and he walks the walk.
Indeed, he does. All right, well, let's go back to Carlos Vela, because if you go on Twitter right now, you can vote for who you think should be your captain for the MLS All-Star Game. And Carlos Vela is one of those guys. So tweet out hashtag Captain Rooney, hashtag Captain Wando, hashtag Captain Nani, or hashtag Captain Vela. Voting closes on Tuesday. Do you guys have a preference? What do you think? Who do you want to see?
It's got to be Nani at home. I just want to give a shout out to the social team, though, for those pictures.
Graphics are pretty sweet, huh? Look at Wando's beard. That's the best his beard has ever looked. Let's be honest. Sorry, Wando. Did I just
I think Rooney's hair looks good.
Yeah, right?
Actual hair. There's extra hair.
Okay, between Wando's beard and Rooney's hair, those graphics are tremendous. All right. So let's talk about the LA Galaxy. Right now, they are 2-0-2 in this El Trafico series. They have never lost to LAFC, which is saying something considering LAFC we have talked about so many times in this show as being the best team in the league right now. So, Bobby, are the Galaxy in their heads a little bit?
I don't know if they're in their heads, but they have the tactical upper hand right now. Because, Susannah, you mentioned that LAFC are the best team in the league, and they are. That does not change with this team. Just because the Galaxy won does not mean they're on the same sphere as LAFC. But what it means is that they can beat them, and those two things aren't mutually exclusive because the Galaxy found out how. They made the game ugly, the same way the Portland Timbers did in the U.S. Open couple weeks ago, and then they hit them on the counter. And, Susannah, I think they did three specific things to make the game ugly. One is they had Fabio Alvarez follow around Edward Atuesta. Not necessarily a man mark, but they made it hard for LAFC's engine in the middle, the pendulum, to get on the ball and dictate possession. Number two, they played Julian Araujo, primarily a right back at right winger. He brought his young legs and his defensive instincts into the midfield to both help Rolf Felcher on that side, but also to tuck in and clog up the middle. And three is, when you think of LAFC scoring, how many of the patterns are the same? Carlos Vela picks up his head. Diego Rossi cuts into the middle. He splits the defenders, and Rossi's in on a breakaway. It's incredible how often it happens without teams stopping it. The Galaxy stopped it. They tightened up the back four. They took away those lanes, and all of a sudden, they pushed the game wide and forced LAFC's outside backs to beat them.
Yeah, and to piggyback off that, I mean, really, it's the game of midfield, and we know how important LAFC's midfield has been for this team, especially going forward. And we saw that against Portland in the Open Cup a week and a half ago. They solidified the middle, clogged it up, made it so difficult for LAFC to get going, slow down the play, and then they try to hit them on the counterattack. It was very much like this, individual moments, individual brilliance in that game as well.
So while LAFC might have been the better team, the Galaxy executed their game plan more effectively.
Yeah, and we're starting to see these teams figure out LAFC. So now I don't necessarily think it's about being inside their head. It's just about figuring out tactically. Now LAFC is going to have to find ways to progress and evolve as well. And I think we're going to see a different game next month at Bank of California for sure.